So here we have the Slicing Pie Slicer application, and I'm pointing at a few sections of it. The first section is this top bar. The home, reports, help, and these are your personal settings, your global settings for your personal account. So your image, your credit card numbers, your email address, things like that. The next bar is this one that says Mosquito Oasis. This is where you control the pie. You can control which pie you're looking at if you have multiple pies, team members on each pie, email the team, and pie settings. Under pie settings are all the default settings for how the pie works according to the book Slicing Pie. So I don't recommend you change too many of these settings. Some of them are easier, better to change than others. But of course your pie name and logo. The multiplier is the thing that I don't recommend changing. Working hours per week and work weeks per year are things that are used in the calculation rates, royalty rates, commission rates. These are all things you can set according to your company. These are global settings for the pie, so they work in the calculations for the pie. The next section is the team. The team are all your active teammates and inactive teammates, people who've been fired or may be inactive. And from this screen, you can make team-specific settings, like change their salary. So salary is a pie-specific setting, their title, and you make lump sum payments. And the most useful tool here is you can add contributions. So you click on Add Contributions, and you can track all the things that people contribute to a startup: time, expenses, supplies, equipment, sales, royalties, facilities, finder's fees, personal car, if that's enabled, and other for everything else. So when you click time, for instance, you can put in the project, which is set in the global settings of the pie, a description of what you did, the hours you spent, and any cash received. You can also set repeat contributions. So a repeat contribution would be like setting up a weekly payroll, for instance. So if someone's working full time, you might put 40 hours a week, and they're just automatically added every week. Or if it's daily check-in, you might pay them for a daily check-in. The other common contribution is expenses. So you could say what the project for, the description of the expense, the amount reimbursed, and again, if it's a repeat contribution. So you might see, say, like a repeat contribution might be something like web hosting for $50 a month. So you'd set it up monthly. It says $50 for web hosting up. They'll just automatically calculate it over time. Some things are in between, like for instance, equipment. If you bought a piece of equipment for the company, you put the description of it, the amount you paid, what you reimbursed. And if you purchased it for the company, you would use the cash multiplier as a cash expense. If it was less than a year old, it would use the amount paid times 2 as a non-cash expense because it was something you already owned. If it's older than a year, it'll ask for the resale value, the book value. Personal car will take the miles driven, the fuel costs. They can be changed in the global settings. But this is where you control all the people things for the pie. And the last part of the pie slicer application is the well. Think of the well as a savings account from which you draw money and transfer into your checking account to pay bills. So individuals contribute to the savings account, and they own a certain part of it. So in this case, Mike and Ann own the majority of this savings account, whereas Anson, Norvin, and Marilee have smaller investments in the savings account. And Nick has nothing in the savings account. So Mike has $508.49 in the savings account. Ann has $500. Anson has $8.36. Marilee has $3.91. Nick has nothing, and Norman has nothing. So about almost 100% of this well is owned by Ann and Mike. When you withdraw funds, let's say I take $200 out for a sales project, $200. And I click Draw Funds. You can see it allocates $100 each about to Mike and Ann and smaller amounts to everybody else. So the well allocates the withdrawal as money spent to the owners of the well. So if I want to add funds to the well, let's say Nick comes in for $1,000. It's for Nick. There's no finder's fee. I click add funds, and now Nick has a large chunk of the well. So now when I withdraw money, let's say I take out $1,000 for marketing purposes, and I withdraw the funds. Now it gives Nick a chunk of those. So it gave Nick about $500 worth of those slices, and withdrew slices from everybody else in equal amounts. So that's how the pie sizer works. It should be pretty self-explanatory. I hope you enjoy using it, and let me know if you have any questions.